So this is the starboard settee, and this is all of the mast wiring connections here. And while this place is okay, I think I want to move it down actually at the bottom of the mast, down here. So like, let's see, stuff, production. I want to put it down here. Probably on this side right here, next to good old that. I relocated the 12-volt wiring from here to there. And because of that, that means that I need to either route all of the instrumentation wiring from there over here and down here again, or I'm going to investigate, I like it a lot better, is run it all on the floor above the water tanks and have it all come down here. And that way, that connection is no longer in a storage locker. It's going to be down here where nothing's really stored except wine. And you can see there's already a bunch of other wiring down there anyway. Like this is the NMEA 2000 cable for the through hole, and something else. Was it speed depth something? I don't know. There's a couple of things that thing is connected to. Yeah. I got the mast wiring terminal block that was mounted like right here removed, and that is the leftover wiring that used to go up to the electrical panel that was up there. There's the other wires, and I'll probably just pull all of that stuff out. Probably redo all of the wiring. The original wiring in the boat, which that is you know, old and corroded in many locations. The jacket has been, you know, it's dry and it cracks, and the wire is just not in the best shape, so I really don't want to use it. I do need to figure out where this weird piece of Romex is going and get rid of it. But that, I think, is a fan thing that's down into this side, so yeah. And then that is the VHF wire. Here's the mast. Where's the junction block go? Down here somewhere. Down here. Production. There it is. Okay. This is the mast lighting, and I think there's only, this shows 5. I think there's only 4 things that was actually hooked up. I have to look at the pictures again. But it's anchor light, tricolor, steaming light, and deck light. And that's the 4 that are going up there. And that's all that this wiring, I don't know. This is some awesome stuff here. So they used like the, you know, 120 volt style 14 gauge to extend the original factory wires and put this little junction box. So I'm going to put this junction block like right here, because I don't ever envision me storing wine down there. Maybe on the other side. So I could even put it like right here on this side. Maybe that makes more sense. Yeah, and so here's the wires. These are the actual lighting wires that are going up the mast. So these little gray things. So that's, and it's pretty small gauge. It's not anything substantial. This is the radar. This is the VHF, and this other, no, excuse me. This is the VHF. Radar, okay, lighting, radar, VHF, and then the, like an abandoned wire, and you can see the thing that's down here. This is just old. Not used anymore. Probably an old radar or something. So yeah, we'll move on from there. Here's the mast lighting terminal block right here. I just installed it. I took out this wire over here, which is like 14 gauge, like 120 volt. I mean, the colors are for 120 volt. So these were extended from these tiny little wires that come out. These are 3 conductors. So these little guys were the ones that were extended. It went over here, up under here, and then like back up under here and under this settee thing down here. So relocated it. I like this spot a lot better. I ran new wires here. This goes back to the panel. I'm gonna run probably a couple of more for the refrigerator, 24 volt power, and oh, and probably the 120 volt outlet over here at the nav desk. So I'm going to turn this into 24 volts for this fridge, and then I'm also going to add another one next to it, and then that needs a different wire. Probably going to replace the junction box as well. So I don't like that junction box. It's just an old one, and then that wire. And then the only other wires I got to deal with is this is the nav light wire, this white one right here. Nav lights, pretty sure it says nav lights. And then that's the big black one is the VHF cable. I don't know, remember, whatever. I don't know what this one is for. I think it's just a big common. But and then all of that wiring can go away. And once I get new, all of that wiring can go away, since most of it is unused. It's all pretty much, all that entire bundle is pretty much just for that outlet right there, the 12 volt outlet. And yeah. And there's the junction box with the little cover thing. Not really sold on that, but hey, it'll prevent it from stuff bumping into things. That should do something, I guess. Finally got Joe to bend my hinged hoopy thing. Needs to be trimmed. I just hung it. So as you can see, it's kind of like up high in the back over here. It also needs a little bit of trimming in one way or the other. Yeah, but so this is the hinged hoopy thing, basically how it's gonna sit in there, more or less. I think there'll be a little bit of a gap in there. I'm gonna have a little bumper over here, and then the hinge is down here. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'm gonna do a few measurements and then see how it measures out. If you look at it from fore and aft, it is a little bit off here. It's because I believe when we were bending it, I think you can see it pretty good from like here, maybe like there. You can see it pretty good. It's a little bit high on this side more than that side. So that could be the bend, it could be the legs, I don't know. That's why I haven't measured yet, but yeah, this side's kind of the same thing. It's heading outward just a little bit. I'll work on getting this all squared up. I think I got the hinged hoopy thing pretty well squared up and aligned a little bit better. So this looks pretty good down there. It'll flex it quite a bit. So, you know, I mean, I'll get the feet mounted down here onto the pieces before I do any of the gussets. So there'll be a gusset probably like right here, and then a gusset right in here. I'll probably do that at that 1.25 inches, this stuff, this pipe here. Excuse me, this pipe. And so aside from the slight angle change, so that when it gets cut off will go in a little bit, you know, this is just to kind of get the alignment. So then on this side, looks like this. And I think that's pretty darn close. Really like it. This is coming out pretty cool. Here's the view from below. Looks pretty good side to side. Like it. So then I'll have little dangly bits up here to hang the dinghy from, and then I'll have a purchase system between here and here, and then here and here, and it'll be tied in somehow. And I would like to have a single line to pull the whole assembly up. So I think a 6-to-1 maybe on each side. Give that a try first, and I think that'll probably be enough. Just so one person can easily pull the entire dinghy up without major malfunction. And I think that'll work. I like the look of this thing. It's turned out really cool. Now I just got to get the hoopy thing set up for the upper part. Pile of extra wire. This is all just the stuff I've removed from the boat that I haven't done anything with yet. So just playing around with lighting. So here's the main lighting panel wiring, and then so I've got this 40 amp breaker for this gigantic number 8 wire, which is all grossly oversized, which is fine. And then it's going to come up here, and this is the lighting distribution fuse block right here. So I've got this one fuse and then this one wire. This is just a temporary test of this thing. I think I'm going to put the actual switches right up in here, right in this general vicinity here. So it'll have like little dial deals for the on-off. I thought I would just record this for my first go of it. Here's the switch. Got power, so let's see what happens, I guess. Wow, look at that. So that's just on. We'll crank it up and see. Wow, that is extraordinarily bright. Oh, I like this. This light is absolutely amazing. Let's turn it off. Let me get this unrolled and take some more video. Alrighty, let's give this a test now and see how bright it is. It looks to me like it's pretty awesome. Okay, so I really like, so that's like the dim. That's just on. And then it comes up to that kind of intensity. Oh, this is absolutely perfect, and I love the color too. I was trying not to go with the really yellowy, like 3000 or less Kelvin color temperature, and I don't really like this 5,000 and 6,000 color temperature. It gets a little bit too bluey white, so I settled on this one, which is 4,000. I really like it. So bluey white, I guess, would be like this light up here. That's kind of a bluey white, a little bit more bluey white than I like, but I really like the color temperature of this thing. Take some more pictures. Here's the video in the dark. It's this is minimum, and this is the full string length. This is like 5 meters. This is I am very, very pleased with this. I really like the color. I really like how bright it gets. So this is minimum, and I'll turn it up to maximum as soon as I figure out how to hold this thing. So there's this. Okay, that's off. I meant to do that. There's minimum, and then we'll crank it up to full brightness. And it lights up the space really, really well. This is absolutely amazing. I am so pleased with this color. I am so pleased with how bright it is. This will light the boat very, very well. Looking forward to a more permanent installation. Got the new cob LED strips installed. I need to do the ends where the pieces are cut. Here's a little chunk. This is actually a piece of this cob strip. Just a little piece of it. But yeah, the ends I'm waiting on the silicone. Not a fan of silicone, but this is what they recommend. So I think and it doesn't probably do continuity issues. So one minor thing I didn't realize is that LED is a directional electrical device, and I had this cut from basically the wrong end. So I need to pay attention to, which end is which, when I cut it. So I had to goofy do the wire here. You'll see there's a yellow wire, not this one, this one here. You'll see there's like a whatever's going on there. I think there's a black in there. Anyway, I had to flip the polarity because, LEDs. Anyway, this is, I am extraordinarily impressed. This is just, I'm just kind of mounted it up in there. I got rid of the old LED, the RGB stuff. So here's just minimum, if I can get this thing to work. Because that's like the min. Right, it's really, really nice amount of light. Now the other thing I want to do is I want to double the amount of clips so that it's a little bit less dangly like that, but it's pretty good. So, and then you can see it's starting to light it up already quite a bit, and then we get this amount of light. This is full, this is 100%. So here's the galley and the whole thing. I am absolutely impressed by this light. It is so nice. I like the color. I like the brightness. I like that this is just a better dimmable setup. I'll get junction boxes, and I'll put the dimmer switch on these junction boxes. And my plan is to have these little dimmer switches on a junction box with a blank cover plate like this, like maybe do 4 or 3 per cover plate. And then I'll have like, because you can only do so many amps per this little switch, I'll have like, so the galley lighting will be one, this will be one. Then I'll do another one when I get this part installed, and it'll be on the top. Run on the top and do an uplight. I haven't decided if I'm gonna go back along here yet. But yeah, there's this one, and then it'll be over here too. So one side will be one switch, one side will be the other switch. I want the same light up in the cockpit, like up in the solar panels, which I think will be really cool. And maybe I'll do like a red version, like on the inside rails or the front and back, or maybe just the back so that it doesn't like blind you when you're trying to sail. Yeah, just like a little red light, or not at all, and I'll just have a headlight that does red. Anyway, I'm really, really enjoying this this thing. I need to do a little more testing. I don't think I'm even close to pushing this thing. It's rated for 6 amps, and I'm doing 2. So I am very, very pleased with the result here. And it's just, I love that it's just a dimmable, simple dimmable on-off switch. You can have it like this as a night light, I guess. This is pretty phenomenal. I like it. Sailing south on the Holder, Adrian's new fancy project, and captain. We're doing about 5 knots, south-ish wind. Oh, now it's raining. Am I feeling rain? Oh no, it's this. I was like, I'm feeling water. I was like, what's raining? Yeah.
Still getting a little bit of, oh yeah, look at that.
This thing's still
a little bit of splash.
Little splash. But yeah, so where are we at? We're not to Jensen Beach yet, are we?
No, these power lines mark about the halfway point.
This isn't, are we still in Fort Pierce?
Yeah.
So we're almost at the end of Fort Pierce. Right? Fort Pierce has some town in between. There's a town in between Fort Pierce and Jensen Beach. And it's called
Port St. Lucie is in between them, I know.
Oh, okay.
And we're probably about Port St. Lucie now.
Pretty close.
And then Port St. Lucie will swing inland.
Ah, okay.
Jensen
So it
Beach
goes
is-
like inland, and then Jensen Beach takes over the ICW area.
But
Got
the
it.
power lines up ahead mark about the halfway point.
Yeah,
And,
we've been mobbing along this whole time.
yeah.
Just the main only. I don't think this is light enough conditions for a basin anyway.
I don't think it would be for a first try.
Maybe 5 knots for that,
Yeah,
right?
I'm thinking like a truly light wind day.
Yeah.
If the boat's making 5-6 knots
With
on
the main?
alone, I think we're doing all right.
Yeah, I think so. It's been pretty good. We get on a wave every once in a while and do a little surfing. That's kind of fun. Oh, is that the Canadian boat coming back?
That looks like it.